there's a value to being typecast as a certain type of drummer? So when somebody says, hey, we need that Ray Luzier type of beat, they know to call you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting that the last couple of years, which has been cool. Like Robert and Dean DeLeo, they you know, when they had me audition for Army of Anyone, they heard some things I did, and when we were in the studio, they're like, "Hey, play that Ray thing you always." There's this one thing. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I just keep playing something until that, you know. So I love that identifiable thing. I think we should all find, you know, it's good to copy other drummers and look up to your idols and really, you know, I did it emulating everyone from Phil Rudd to Terry Bozzio to, you know, you name it, you know, Kiss, Ozzy. I was playing everything growing up, Bonham. But you get to that point where you have your own niche and you develop all this vocabulary is in your head, and it comes out through your personality, through the being that you are, and the music style you're playing. So, like, because I play with David Lee Roth, I play completely different than Korn. Because Dave's got this swing, this double, you know, we open up with Hot for Teacher every night. I mean, that was like a double bass shuffle. Korn is like just, it's hitting you over the head, you know, this hip-hop-y kind of metal-y kind of, you know. And when you see 40,000 people jumping up and down, even on your worst day, as tired as you are, you just traveled. Yeah, you haven't slept in 3 days. Yeah. So what? These fans don't care, and you just feed off that energy, and it's amazing, you know. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, speaking about Korn too, when you came in the band, did you make a point of just sort of, for the older material, just sort of playing the David Silveria part?
I really respect what he's done. You know, I think he's got his own niche, and I really in the fans, you can see him air drumming. So there's no way I'm going to throw some crazy lick in where I know there's a signature fill. It's just like Alex Van Halen. Like when I would play Jump, you know, there's no way I'm not going to play that lick.
Right.
I'd shoot that drummer if he didn't play that lick. You know what I'm saying? You know, so Dance the Night Away. Come on, you got to play. So it's the same with Korn. Like if I'm playing, let's say Adidas, for example, like that hip-hop-y groove, or Freak on a Leash, one of their biggest hits, he's got this like this really groove, and I really try to emulate that. And of course it comes out sounding a little bit like Ray, because I'm me, and I hit differently than he hits. But that's like you can get 50 drummers in this room right now to play just Back in Black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're going to have a different feel.
Every single drummer's going to have a different feel. Yeah. Maybe your snare's going to be louder. Maybe his kick's going to be louder. Maybe his hats are heavier. So obviously my sound comes through everything, but I try to respect what he did and give him my own flair. And of course, Terry Bozzio played it a lot on the last record, so I love playing the new stuff because Terry gets to go a little bit. Yeah. So and Jonathan's always giving me like, go ahead, do your thing. You know, so I get to shred it up a little bit in some of those songs. You know.
Now the irony in what you just said is that probably one of the most consistent things that we hear when we interview drummers is that, oh yeah, I recorded these parts on the album, but they changed so much while I was on tour that I wish I had recorded the album at the end of the tour. I mean, you always hear that.
Absolutely.
And yet, when you replace a drummer, you feel kind of required to play those exact same parts.
Because
whereas if you recorded those parts, they might evolve over the tour.
Well, for instance, like I just filled in for Stone Temple Pilots. Eric Kretz's dad unfortunately passed away recently.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so Robert and Dean called me to fill in for Eric, and I mean, you talk about different style of drumming. Like I had to play so far behind the beat. I mean, I don't think I've ever played that slow and relaxed in my life in front of 40,000 people, you know what I mean? So, and we didn't rehearse. I played 4 songs at sound check and we just went.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, that, you know, you're playing the Plush or one of the, every song from STP is like hit, hit, smash, smash, hit, smash, you know. So you're playing stuff like Plush, you know, bum, bum, ga, boom, that big hole, ga, 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 ga. I mean, that fill was just yesterday. So I really had to get in that mind frame of just like, dude, just lay it back, you know. So, and then you see even see girls in the audience. You know they're not drummers, but they're doing this because they know that fill's coming up. So, that's definitely a requirement right there. I had to do, and I was just, they didn't want. I mean, of course they wanted me in the band, but they didn't. No one cared that Ray Luzier was in STP that night. Right. Those fans showed up to hear STP, and I just had to slip in there like nothing happened.
How much preparation time did you have for that?
Well, I've been a big STP fan, so of course I've known the songs, but they sent me board tapes of the live stuff just because there's little nuances they do. They extend this ending, they cut this. There's a jam after Creep that they do. They might dynamically go down in one verse and bring the next one up. So that's what I had to learn. I just fell asleep in my iPod, you know, because I knew at the beginning of the tour, they said his dad was kind of ill, and I didn't know the situation. So then when it happened, you know, I got a call literally in 2 days. I had to be on a plane to New Orleans. So it was pretty scary, you know.
Yeah.
When Dean DeLeo calls you up and says, "Hey, dude, you're on deck," and that's it. The phone hang up, and I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, I'm like, you know, he was scattering. Because I even had Eric Kretz's metronome settings to their live because they may pull this song back or rush this one. So I even had his little. I had a little LED. Little Tama, what are those called? Those, you know what I'm talking about, the little drum machine things?
I do, but I get,
yeah, metronome. And I had that reference just out of the corner of my eye, watching that thing, like just to make sure, because everyone gets excited when you're playing live, you know. Come on, so, yeah.
I just got the word.
Did you get the cutthroat?
I did. I literally got the cutthroat.
Hey, I'd like to thank you for having me. Drum, this is amazing. Andy, you're amazing.
Hey, it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, brother.